KX 93.5, Laguna's Only FM. I'm so happy to be joined this morning by an inspiration to me, a radio and TV host, a best-selling author, and the host of the most downloaded podcast of all time. Adam Carolla is here. Hello.
Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Absolutely. First of all, I know you have a show tonight. You sometimes do your podcast live, which is happening nearby us at the Irvine Improv at 8 o'clock. How does that usually go? What's the live show look like on a stage?
Well, it is essentially the podcast done live. I'm up on my feet and treating a little more with a stand-up posture, but we usually bring a guest out, a stand-up with us, a lot of energy, a lot of fun, play some games, and just sort of let people see how the sausage is made, as they say.
Who's the guest tonight? Do you know?
You know, I'm glad you asked that, Tyler. There's almost always someone like David Allen Greer, Dana Gould, Greg Fitzsimmons, stand-up comedian. I've been so busy and traveling, supporting the book and everything, I have no idea who's coming out with us tonight. And our guy who books the show may be figuring that out as we speak. But either way, I'll bring enough funny for the two of us.
That's kind of the nature of the beast, though, right? I mean, sometimes you kind of have to wing it and not do any prep for whoever it is and just do it.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's something that I couldn't describe to you. That I mean, what I'm saying is that if someone said to me a few years ago, "Hey, you're going to sell out these comedy clubs. You're going to go out there and you're going to do a live podcast for 90 minutes." It's going to go great. I would have said, are you nuts? How's that going to work? What do you mean 90 minutes of standing up on stage? You mean doing stand-up? And they would go, no. You know, you can do some what can Adam complain about, take some questions from the audience, play a few games, do a few things. I would have said, that's never going to work. It's worked every time. I don't want to jinx tonight. But, I mean, honestly, we've probably done Irvine 15 times.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this. If the second and third time we did it, we sucked, there wouldn't be anyone there for the fourth through 15th time.
That's an excellent point. People can still get their tickets and find more info at adamcarolla.com for tonight's show at the Improv. You mentioned your book that you've been touring for that just came out a couple weeks ago called President Me, The America That's in My Head, which, as I understand it, you've been told so many times that you should run for president that you decided you'd write down everything that you would change, essentially, right?
Yeah, I now kind of realize it's sort of, I think people were kidding with me, like telling a fat guy he should open a gym or something like that. But I realized if you're going to write a comedy, if you're going to write a book, you don't want to write it about plate tectonics or the Armenian genocide or something, because it's very limiting. You can't get everything you want under the same, in between the same covers. And if you say President Me, then you can just do that thing of, like we all remember our dad saying, well, if I was in charge, things would change. And then you can talk about any topic you want. And that's basically all I did.
And there's an array of topics that you cover. I want to talk about the traffic problem because it's one that it hits me hard, the traffic and the parking meters and stuff. You go into how Santa Monica has changed their meters to be timed so that you actually have to move your car and find a new spot if you're going to be there longer than 30 minutes.
Well, first off, it's the thing that pisses me off about the city and Santa Monica especially is they have their so-called smart meters. So let's just really just kind of break this down. They've invented a parking meter in Santa Monica that can tell that if you come in and you pay for an hour, you pay $1, put in 4 quarters, what have you. You pay for $1, you pay for an hour, but after 41 minutes, you slide out. You're done at the salon. And now there's 19 minutes left on that meter. Well, I slide in behind you, the meter's zero out. Now, it used to be that there would just be 19 minutes left on the meter for me, right? And by the way, you paid for it. Maybe you and I are good friends. Or maybe you're just some Robin Hood type. Or maybe you're very charitable. But either way, the city got their $1 for their 1 hour. But yet, they don't want to give that 19 minutes to me, so that zeroes out. Right. They have the technology to have a stick coming up from the ground that understands when you pull out and before I pull in to go back to zero. That's their technology. But on a red turn arrow where the light is green and the left turn arrow is turned red on a Sunday at 2 in the morning when there's nobody on the road, that thing can't blink yellow or turn green or time it in such a way where it turns red during high traffic volume, but again on weekends or after midnight or what have you, it just turns into a flashing yellow so that you can turn at your own discretion because you're the only car on the road. They don't have that technology. Of course they have that technology. That technology helps you. The other technology makes them money. So which one do they employ?
I think of you every time I'm at a red turn light because I know how much you hate them. And I ran 2 of them yesterday thinking, I hope Adam would be proud of me as I make an illegal U-turn at this red turn arrow where no one is coming.
I rarely use the word hero, and I'm going to keep that streak alive. Listen, everybody, drive through the red arrows. I do every day. I've been doing it for 13 years. I've never got a ticket. It feels wrong. It's not wrong. You're actually being an American by doing it, and you will never get a ticket. Look behind you. There's not a cop behind you. Make sure there are no cars coming at you, by the way.
Sure.
But if the light is green and the arrow is red, look at it this way. 6 years ago, there wasn't an arrow at that intersection. What did you do then when the light was green and there were no cars coming?
Have you ever done a show in Tucson, Arizona, or visited?
I've probably been through Tucson. I don't think I've done a show there.
That's where I'm from, and we do not have red turn arrows. There are only green arrows and green lights, and I moved to California, and I, of course, like you, can't deal with them. So if you ever get tired of it, just move there.
I will pack my bags today.
Okay, well, you can find all of that and more and all of the ways Adam's going to change the world in President Me, the America That's in My Head. I think it was like $26 hardcover, and I assume you can get it on Kindle and Amazon and all that stuff too, right?
Oh, go to Amazon. Go to AdamCarolla.com and click through Amazon and bookmark us. That'll do it.
The other note I wanted to talk about quickly in your book that I thought was a really good one was you want to put a stop to teenage girl music playing everywhere.
Yes.
And I assume, do you have any leverage with the FCC given your track record with them to change something like that?
No, there's a wanted picture of me up in their offices.
Exactly.
So no, but I am tired of going. I'm literally in a sports bar in Detroit, and they're pumping Rihanna, and I'm looking at all the 40-something-year-old guys nursing their Miller Lights, waiting to die. And I always say to the guy behind the bar, you see anyone dancing? Because maybe we just want to hear a little Leonard Skinner, and then we'll call it a life, you know?
We definitely relate to that. Our station is kind of an indie alternative, non-commercial station that's avoiding playing the same 40 Katy Perry songs all over the world. So that's one we'll definitely be behind you on when you become president.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Speaking of that, you are currently in a lawsuit that we should talk about that's really important for the future of podcasting and kind of audio on demand as it stands. You're fighting the patent trolls, as they've been called, because you got sued basically by a company claiming to own the rights to podcasting, and now you've raised over $400,000 to fight them. Do you want to kind of touch on that?
Yeah, I'll be quick. We're getting sued just because they can, and they're called patent trolls, and that's the way they work. They buy patents, frivolous lawsuits, but they make a lot of money. They're not going to win, but it costs $1.5 million to go to court with these guys. And we started a legal fund that people can go to. They can go to Fund Anything /patent troll. And if they like freedom, if they like podcasting, if they like the internet, make a donation. All the money's going to fight patent trolls. And if there's anything left over at the end, and I don't think there will be because it's very expensive, it'll go to, Doctors Without Borders, not a penny of it will ever see my pocket.
Sure.
It's all going to be to beat these guys. And then once we beat them, they'll leave all the other podcasts alone.
Right. And the reason I think this is really important is, like I said, we started 2 years ago this nonprofit, non-commercial radio station that, again, is going against the big corporate things, the same thing that you left to do your podcast. And it's the internet, it's on-demand listening, it's podcasting that makes radio stations like us and podcasts like yours available around the world. And if people want to continue that trend, then, of course, they should support something like this. So I think it's really important.
Thank you. I as well.
Cool. Well, we do thank you profusely for taking the time to be on our fledgling radio station here in Laguna Beach. And if you're ever in town, we'd love for you to stop by the studio. We've got a cool little beachside studio, and we're trying to do radio the old and right way. So I think you'd appreciate it.
Thanks, Tyler.
KX 93.5